Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to break down one of the most interesting characters in R.C. Sheriff's Journey's End, Hibbert. And I'm going to show you exactly how to analyze him to build a top-grade essay.
So if you're doing your GCSEs, you've probably wondered, how do I write about Hibbert without just saying he's a coward over and over again, right? How do you get to that really juicy analysis that grabs the top marks? Well, you are in exactly the right place. We're going to approach this by thinking of our essay as a building. So instead of stressing over a blank page, we're going to construct a really powerful argument together, piece by piece. And, every great building starts with one thing, a solid foundation. And that foundation for us is our essay blueprint. This is your thesis statement. It's just one clear sentence that lays out the plan for your entire essay. It tells the reader exactly what you're setting out to prove. So let's look at our blueprint. A really strong thesis could sound something like this. It's great because it's our foundation. It's clear, it's strong, and it gives us two amazing ideas to build on: the devastating impact of war and the whole idea of escape. From here on out, every single point we make is going to support this core argument. Okay, with our blueprint sorted, it's time to put up our first structural pillar. And this first point is all about how Sheriff cleverly introduces Hibbert to us before he even says a single word. The key thing to get here is that Hibbert's appearance isn't random. It is a totally deliberate choice by Sheriff. His physical weakness is basically a big visual clue, a metaphor for his psychological weakness. Sheriff is showing us how fragile he is, not just telling us. And just look at the actual words from the stage directions. You've got small, slightly built, little. All of these suggest he's kind of insignificant, that he lacks strength. And that pallid face, well, that just screams sickness and fear, doesn't it? So from the second he steps on stage, the audience is already being told to see him as a vulnerable character. Now, here's a little bit of context that will make your analysis absolutely top tier. Hibbert isn't just some character Sheriff made up. He's based on real experience. Sheriff himself fought in World War I and later admitted that Hibbert was the character he identified with the most. This is huge. It shows us that Hibbert isn't just some simple coward. He's a reflection of a very real, very human fear that Sheriff himself knew inside and out.
Right, pillar 1 is standing strong. Let's move on to our second pillar. We've got his weakness established. Now let's dig into how he tries to use that weakness to get out of the trenches. This right here is Hibbert's main excuse. But check out that word he uses, beastly. It's such an interesting choice. He's not just saying, "Ow, I'm in pain." He's painting his pain as this monstrous, uncontrollable animal. And that just shows you how desperate he is to be believed, to be seen as genuinely sick so they'll send him home. And the thing is, neuralgia is a real medical condition. It causes horrible nerve pain. So this makes things complicated, right? Is he just straight up lying? Is he maybe exaggerating something that's real? Or, and this is a great point for your essay, has the mental trauma of war actually created a real physical symptom? The play never gives us a clear answer, which is perfect for you to explore. But you know who has zero time for any of that uncertainty? Stanhope. This quote is such a brutal contrast. I mean, look at that language: worm, wriggle. It's completely dehumanizing. Stanhope is under his own massive pressure, and he just sees Hibbert as this pathetic little creature trying to squirm out of doing his duty. And all of this tension leads us to our third and, honestly, our most dramatic pillar: the showdown between Hibbert's raw terror and Stanhope's ironclad sense of duty. This is one of the most powerful scenes in the whole play. So, we're in Act 2. Hibbert's desperation is at its absolute peak. The excuse about neuralgia is gone, and all that's left is this paralyzing, naked fear. He makes it crystal clear. He would rather be dead than go back out to the front line. And then we get this incredible standoff. Stanhope threatens to shoot him to prevent the disgrace of desertion. And Hibbert's response? It's just shocking. Shoot, and thank God. I mean, wow. Think about that for a second. He's actually welcoming death. This isn't just about avoiding a fight anymore. This is about escaping a mental torture so awful that a bullet seems like a blessing. Now, to really feel the weight of this scene, we need a bit of historical context. Desertion wasn't just a slap on the wrist. It was seen as the ultimate act of cowardice and betrayal, and the punishment was execution by firing squad. The stakes in this dugout are literally life and death.
306. That's how many British and Commonwealth soldiers were actually executed for desertion and other offenses during World War I. So when Stanhope makes that threat, it's not an empty one. This was the terrifying reality for soldiers who just couldn't take it anymore.
Which leads us to the big question, especially from our modern perspective. Was Hibbert a coward? Or was he a victim of what they called shell shock back then, what we would now call PTSD? When you look at his symptoms, they fit perfectly with a mind that has been completely shattered by the horrors of war. Okay, our main structure is built and it is solid. But, to really push for those highest grades, we need to add some complexity. We have to show the examiner that we can see the character from every single angle. So let's actually challenge our own argument a little bit. Is Hibbert just a victim? Because if we only see him as a sympathetic casualty of war, we miss a really important and, frankly, a much less pleasant side of his character that Sheriff put in there for a reason. This quote comes up when Hibbert's trying to act all tough and manly. He tells this really degrading story about picking up a couple of tarts, which is a horrible term for women, and threatening to throw them out of a car. It reveals this nasty misogynistic streak in him, and it forces us to reevaluate our sympathy. He might be a victim of war, sure, but he is definitely not a simple, innocent angel. And there we go. We've got our blueprint. We've built our main pillars. We've even added that crucial layer of nuance. All the pieces for a fantastic, top-grade essay are right here. Let's just quickly review the final plan. Here it is, your checklist for success. 1. Start with that clear thesis. 2. Build your argument with Pillar 1, his physical description. 3. Add Pillar 2, his faked illness. 4. Bring in Pillar 3, his breakdown with Stanhope. And finally, Step 5. Add that amazing nuance by looking at his flaws. If you follow this structure, you are guaranteed to have a sophisticated, well-argued essay. In the end, Sheriff doesn't just hand us an easy answer. Is Hibbert a coward? Is he a casualty? Or is he something much more complicated, somewhere in between? And that's the beauty of it. The play lets you decide. And now, using the structure we've built together today, your essay will be perfectly ready to explore that question and reach your own powerful conclusion. Good luck!